When we talk of microblogging, we basically mean a shorter form of blogging. It means that there are more frequent posts, and if you think in terms of the status updates on Facebook, LinkedIn and Google, or tweets on Twitter, this is a good example of what we usually consider to be microblogging. It empowers students to source and disseminate information themselves, for example, through posting links, news items, and so on. So it is actually what we always talk about. It gives education a certain democratic possibility in saying we are not just the people who post and link on this site, but we are also considering you, the students, as an equal participant in this exchange. This needs to be fostered. It needs to be practiced for a while until the students actually realize that this is okay. It's expected of them, and it's okay. But it is, I personally feel, a very democratic way of looking at student engagement. For this particular project, I've chosen Edmodo. There was a number of reasons why I did this. Edmodo is one of those social networking sites. However, it's basically a social learning platform in educational settings. Now, it looks a bit like Facebook, as you can see. Some of you might be on Facebook or might be engaging in Facebook. And it does work in a similar way, but not exactly. Now, Edmodo can be used for many different things, and I'm not going to go into much detail now, but it has got microblogging groups, so you can group within Edmodo certain groups of people you want to engage with each other. It's got posting, obviously, and you can post and mark assignments on Edmodo as well. Polls, quizzes, calendar, embedding multimedia, printable class rosters, SchoolTube, which is like a YouTube version, but it's embedded in here, and a photo editor. It's also available as an app. We wanted to look at how we can enable American and Australian students exchanging their views on literacy learning and children's literature. And we wanted to also compare standards, content descriptions, approaches, and so on in official documents. So we'll be using the Australian curriculum, which we will be using in our course, and they are using the so-called Common Core standards, which are not as detailed as the content descriptions in the Australian curriculum, but they have the same function, so to speak. So we want to develop something around the students going into these documents and actually making some comparisons. We'd also like them to look at core texts that we use here and the Americans use. So we use a lot around what is called the 4 resources model. So we'd like them to look at that and compare it to something that the Americans use. And we'd also, the other thing that we are very interested in is their understanding of quality children's literature. So we are going to give them some ideas around looking at what counts as quality children's literature here and over there.